Hello, hello, hello. Good evening and welcome to ROX Box on the Saturday evening. So we've started doing our special guests again due to current situations. I know it will affect a lot of people, so it's nice to come on board and help support some people out there. And tonight, I'm so looking forward to this evening. A real great couple, two people that we've really got to know over the years and really do love and like. But for us, it's going to be a nice evening to get to know more in depth on what these people do, because they do lead busy lives and it's not easy to talk to them at shows. So I think we're all ready here. Good evening, Robin. I hope you're well. I'm very well, thank you. Hey, Belinda. Hey, Sarah. Hi, Shardy. And evening, Carolyn. Do comment if you do have any questions throughout this evening for the lovely couple. Pop them up and I will put those questions over to them. Okay. So, hey, Janet on YouTube. Nice to see you. So let's introduce tonight's guests, the lovely Sandy and Mike from Rainbow's End.
Hello there.
Hello, good
Hello.
evening.
Good
Love the
evening.
Groucho Marx moustache, by the way. It's really good. Yeah.
I know. It's for this month. It's for November, so it's
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I grow it for that. Normally it blends in with my beard, but this week I decided to shave that off and just have it there. And yeah, I can't wait for my beard to catch up. Good evening, both of you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hi.
I hope you are both well.
We are.
We are, thankfully.
Good. So I like to start tonight's topic by like I talk to everybody who comes on, by where did it all begin for you guys? Where did it start? Whether it was your childhood or whether how you two got to be.
Okay. So, shall I go first?
Yeah, Sandy,
I'll
first.
go.
Ladies always first.
Ladies first, maybe. Okay, so my mediumship really started with when my last husband passed on in 2003. And I was already going to spiritualist churches and sitting with mediums for readings, like lots of people do. But after a while of keeping going to mediums, I just thought, you know what? I want to do this myself. I want this connection myself with this man I've got in spirit. And so I went and sat at Windsor Spiritualist Church in a group there, in what they call a circle. And I suppose I sat there for 3 or 4 months, sort of fiddling around with kindergarten stuff. And then somebody said, why don't you go to the Arthur Findlay College? So I thought, oh, okay. So I had a look at the brochure and there was this thing that said art with spirit. And I do watercolors. So I thought, well, I'll go there and maybe Spirit World will give me a hand with my art. So on the very first day there, I found myself drawing faces. And I showed one of these faces to the tutor and she said, well, show it to the group. So I showed it to the group and a woman said, oh, that's my grandmother. So I'm in total shock now. And the tutor said, get up on that platform and you're going to let this grandmother tell you things about herself. And I did. And it all worked. And I was totally scared. And I said, no, this is not what I came here for, really. This is too much. And the tutor said, no, it's not. This is what you did come here for. Persuaded me to stay. And the rest is history. That's how that sort of kicked off. And I was living in Devon at the time. I just moved to Devon. And I started going to groups in Devon. And I actually started a retreat centre there where people could come and stay on a donation basis through a charity I founded. So that was running along. I started teaching mediumship because that came in quite quickly because I realized that this link I had with spirit was too important just for me to use. I needed to share it with others and do readings, and then I needed to teach other people. So it was really a bit of a gallop through all of that. But I was kind of enjoying it and settling into it. And then one day I got a phone call from the Champneys Health Resorts, who knew me because I used to stay there a lot. And they said, "Oh, we hear you're a medium now. Will you come and work for us?" So I was like, okay, well, I'll give it a try, because it was free accommodation and free food. So I thought, that'll do. That'd be nice. So off I went to Champneys once a month to work for them. And then about the same time, I was also visiting my daughter in Australia. And on one of those visits, she said, "Oh, Mum, there's a spiritualist church around the corner. Why don't we go there tonight?" So, "Oh, okay, we'll go." So I introduced myself to the president and said, "Oh, yeah, I do this in England." "Oh," she said, "well, next time you come to Australia, perhaps you come and work for us." So I did, and a bit scary, but it was all right. And then I got a phone call from somebody in Adelaide saying, "Oh, well, why don't you come and work for us as well?" So the whole thing was absolutely winding up and getting really, really busy. So I'm going to stop it at that point, because I want Mike to tell his background information.
Could I just delve a little bit into yours? Because when you were at Arthur Findlay College, when the tutor said to you to just go up onto the platform and talk what the grandma was saying, how did you trust in that? How did you overcome that? Because like, I know when I've met people through the spiritual community, they've said, "Oh, you should do medium, you should do that." And for me, it's like, no, I don't want to open those gates.
You absolutely should.
But for you to sit there and look at that picture of someone's grandma, where did that trust, that intuition come from for you to go, this?
Well, it didn't. Somebody said, "I know who that is." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I just drew that." And I don't draw faces normally. I paint landscapes. So this face came out of nowhere. And when you're in that place, the energy is magic, and you kind of go along with everything. And they said, "Well, just get up and see what comes." And then this information started coming about this woman, and this other student kept saying, "That's my grandmother, that's my grandmother." And all my clair senses, so like your human senses, but at a higher vibrational level, they all kicked in. I was doing all of it. And I was scared. I just didn't want to do it. I just said, no, this is too much. And that's why I wanted to go home, but they wouldn't let me. No, they wouldn't. I was going to go home on day one of a 7-day course. And this tutor said, "No, you are meant to be here." And she actually told me before the end of that week, she said, "One day you will teach here." And I'm like, "Yeah, on your bike, I'm not going to do that." But anyway, it did all happen.
Yeah, I have heard of the college. I think we've had quite a few people on here who have been to that college. I want to say Jennifer Jones, but I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, I have heard the college mentioned before. So
amazing.
So you're the mediumship part. And now if we delve into Mike.
The healing part. Well, medium as well now, but which we'll talk about later. For me, it was always healing. I don't know why. Ever since I can remember as a child, I knew I was a healer. It sounds silly, but I don't know. I just want to go and talk to people and heal people. I don't know. It's ridiculous. You can't imagine as a little kid wanting to do this, but I did.
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah. The problem is then life gets in the way, and you get to school and you think, I can't say that to anyone because they're all going to laugh at me. I already got beaten up a few times, so it's not going to be, And then I did some more healing, and then I went through another form of life stage, if you like, where I didn't do anything with it. And there was lots of times where I did nothing. And it was about 2004 that really kicked off for me. I was in this particular place, this particular little village where I run a bar restaurant. And this was a magical place. And it all came back, all the healing. I was just talking to people and healing them. It was ridiculous. And somebody said to me, and actually it was Colin Fry, the late Colin Fry, one of the great mediums, said to me, you need to go to Paynton Spiritualist Church and you'll never look back. And I did that. And then he said, go to the Arthur Findlay College. And I did. And I studied there for 10 years, same as Sandy did, but on different courses. So we never actually met at a college, which is amazing.
Were you there at the same time?
Yeah.
No, well,
well, same
sort
years,
of
same
same
years.
years, but never at the same time. So we never met.
Paths never crossed.
And I just never looked back from that. It was so I do what they call trance healing now, or deep energy healing. We like to call it deep energy healing because when we worked at Champneys, like Sandy said, a lot of people don't like the trance word. They think you're going to put them in a trance, or it's going to be all a bit faffy. So deep energy, or energy freedom technique. So it's all to do with this, but it's all to do with a higher vibration. So basically, I put myself into a deep meditative state, a very deep state. I'll go right down in the delta state, and that's what taught me at the Arthur Findlay College. I was taught to not be able go into this state where I'm not aware of my surroundings and I have no conscious thoughts. That's what took the time. And that raises my vibrations really high, so I can tap into the universal energies and the spirit energy and allow my body to be a conduit to do the healing. And it doesn't matter whether it's on Zoom or wherever it is in the world, it's the same effect. And then I get to know where the energy is going, where the blockages are, if you like, and I give that to the person so that we can work with them, so that they can manage it when in the future. So anyway, that's how that works. So
I like that.
Much with it
I wasn't doing much with it when I met
weren't.
Sandy. I really did need a kick up the backside. Or fortunately, however you want to look at it, she was the one that gave me the big kick. So there you go.
No, he'd given a few cards out and he was sitting waiting for the queue to form at the front door.
Why aren't they coming to me? I've got like Vista prints and all these hundreds of cards, but you have to get off your backside, unfortunately.
So if I pick it there,
you're both in Findlay College, but never met. No. But then Champneys.
No.
But we need to backstep a bit.
Oh, okay.
Because there was a point when I was very involved with the Spiritualist National Union in Devon, and I was on the district council, and there was a particular project I wanted to carry out. And the treasurer, being a typical treasurer, said, "You can't do that. We haven't got enough money." And I was really cross because I wanted to do this thing. Visit every church in the district was what I wanted to do so that we could get to know them. And I just said, I won't say the name anyway, but I just said to this guy, I said, "How much money do you need for me to do this project?" And he said, £2,000. So I'd run a couple of mind, body, spirit shows by then. So I knew the form. I said, "Right, I'll give you £2,000. Just give me till February. And then will you let me do it?" And he said, "Well, £2,000, yes, you can." So I decided to run a big mind, body, spirit show in Torquay at the town hall. 68 exhibitors, I think we had. And I just said, "Oh, I'll do it." But after a while, I realized that I'd bitten off far more than I could chew. So I put out an appeal through the southwest of the union and said, "Anybody going to come and help me?" And this lovely man phoned me up.
I was. It was funny because I was a member still, Spiritualist National Union, and this I had one of their pamphlets come through the door, and on it was a flyer with a plea for help. Can anyone help run this mind, body, spirit show? So I phoned her up.
And I said, "Well, come along on the day."
She said, "What can you do?" I said, "Well, I used to run a bar restaurant." "Oh, you're good. You're in the kitchen then."
Yes, that's
Thank
where
you
he
very
went.
much. That was it. So now it started. I was in the kitchens for a few years before I upgraded slightly.
But he spent, and he was really good. I don't really remember too much, except he was very reliable and it went well. And he did helped me with a couple more shows. And then he
didn't impress you on first sight then?
No, he didn't. No. I was too busy to notice. You know how busy I was.
Well, I think it was the second time I thought I'd done the first one, and I thought, well, she's all right, nice person. And then the second time she asked me, and I went again, and I thought, "Oh, I'm really glad. It'd be nice to go and see her because she was a nice person." So that's how you think. Isn't it? Okay.
Anyway, the union were doing an AGM at a big hotel in Torquay, and the district council was running it. And again, I was stuck with a load of responsibilities and I didn't have enough manpower. So I phoned up this man and I said, "Could you come and help me do this one?" And that's when it all changed. We had Friday, Saturday, Sunday running this AGM. And by the end of day one, I knew it had changed. I
could tell him the story. Actually, it was on, we'd had a stressful day at this hotel. So I said, come on lunchtime. I said, come on, I'll buy you a drink. So I went to the bar and got a gin and tonic or whatever. And I just said to her, do you know what? I said, I really like you. And I said, I'm going to give you a big cuddle. She said, no, you can't do that in front of all these delicates. I said, watch me. And I just picked her up and cuddled her. And that was it. End of story.
Oh,
Yes. So that's how it all began. Yeah. And then I contacted people in Australia that I was booked to go to and said, can I bring this man with me? And
this trans man. I went,
man. And they said,
well,
yes.
Yeah.
So that's how it progressed from there. And we went to Australia. Over 6 years, we went twice a year, and
12 times,
pretty well covered the whole of Australia, apart from, where didn't we go? Darwin and Alice Springs.
Alice Springs, yeah.
So we travelled all over, and Champneys took him on as well. So it was obviously meant to be. We didn't have it.
So what is Champneys? I've not heard.
Right, it's it's the original health resort in Britain, founded in the 1920s. There are now six major
Rothschild mansions.
There's 6 major resorts. And I started at Tring on my own, but once Mike joined me, we did before COVID, we worked at all the resorts with readings and healings and special break weekends. So if you Google Champneys, you'll see what we're talking about. Massive health resorts, great facilities, great buildings. We were very lucky.
We are very lucky because they used to, every month we go down there for 4 days or whatever, 5 days, do our readings, healings. They look after us. They give us a room. They'd feed us. They give us a couple of glasses of wine. You know, they were really lovely to us, and we get paid for doing it. And so yeah.
So it all kind of melded in together and ran along like that. We moved to Cornwall in 2000. We married in 2014. We moved to Cornwall in 2007.
8th of November. Just had it.
Yeah, it put me off now.
Married to.
So we moved to Cornwall in 2017, just on an impulse, and it's the best thing we did. And then
Australia must be. That's a great experience to go around Australia. How long do you go for?
6 to 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
And
we drive.
So you move around.
We drive everywhere. We
did fly sometimes.
We did a couple of the big trips. You have to fly. You have to leave your thing at Melbourne and go to Sydney or whatever. But realistically, we drive around.
But what we used to do before we went, I had a vague idea from working there before. We sort of started off with a centre, then we'd phone another centre and say, do you want us? And we kind of plot a little trip out.
Okay,
but we never really knew whether it would pay for itself. So it was a big trust. We always had enough of the airfare from our own money, but then after that, it was really, oh my God, how are we going to do this?
We always found that was right, didn't we? We always found for some unknown reason, we didn't really make money as such, and we're not bothered about that. That's not the point. The point is putting it out to the people, and that's what the charity's about. But we always found that it was like almost just about break even.
Sometimes you made a profit.
Enjoyed. The enjoyment and fulfillment is lovely.
And we met some amazing people.
And one time,
you've got to have some amazing connections.
Yeah, we absolutely did. And every time we went, there was somebody different, something different to do, places to work. Just never ceased to amaze us. Really.
One time we was at the Blue Mountains and we decided to go have a day off, and we just went up this sort of high street, if you like. So look, there's a spiritual shop, a crystal shop. You loved it. It was a lovely shop. So we're walking there and we said, oh, hello, what do you do? Do you have people here? And this is who we are. And they went, 2 people there. And went, oh my God. She said, we put out to the spirit world, we need 2 people to come in here and do workshops and stuff like that. And here you are. We're booking you. And that was on the spur of the moment. So it's amazing.
And that's how it always worked. By the time we left on one trip, we got the next trip booked up.
So when you were over there, do you call it performing?
Oh yeah, we did lots.
No, we call it working.
Demonstration.
But was you on the platform, or were you also teaching?
Everything.
Both workshops, everything.
Readings, healings, workshops, teaching, church services.
Well, that's how I started to be, wasn't it? That's how I started to be. Well, how I was. I am a medium, if you like, because she put me in the deep end. This lovely lady of mine who was working in a place in, I can't remember.
It was Newcastle.
It was Newcastle, that's right, in Australia. And we did a service, and I don't know if you've been to a spiritual service, but what they do is normally the SNU services, this was an SNU, Spiritualist National Union Church in Australia. And they do an address, and you have a talk, and so the mediums do that. And then it's time for the medium to get up and do the clairvoyance on platform. So she's the medium, I'm the healer. Okay.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, so we got up this one day, and so we did the address together, because we do everything together, you know, and it was really good. And that's this, and the talk. And then the chairperson said, now Sandy's going to stand up and do the clairvoyance. Now she's going to do the clairvoyance. So Sandy stood up and she said, I'm going to do the clairvoyance. She said, and Mike's doing it with me. And I'm going, what's this woman mad? I've never done this in my life before, right? Okay.
You didn't tell you.
And then she didn't tell me at all, no.
No.
And then she said,
He'd
but
never even run.
not only is he doing it, she said, he's getting the same link as me and bringing the same spirit person through. And I'm thinking, you are having a laugh. This is not right. I was like,
Where's the nearest exit?
I had no choice. I stood up in an audience and just went to someone. Well, it's funny because I went to this bloke and I said to him, I've got your father here. And he went, okay. And I said, he's a boxer. And he went, no. And I could see this man in my head. And I said, no, he's a boxer, championship boxer in the army. No. Anyway, kept denying it. And his wife was nudging him like that. And she said, well, actually, he said, well, yeah, he was a boxer. Right. So, and then, anyway, cut a long story short, I brought him through. And then in the end, he came up to me. He said, sorry about that. He said, I haven't seen or spoke to my father in 30 years, and I didn't know he'd passed. And that was my first introduction to mediumship.
But you see, I knew he could do it because he was connecting with spirit in his healing.
What a day.
I knew it.
If she'd have told me, I'd have run that mile. Yeah. It's like throwing you in the deep end, isn't it?
You can't get much deeper than that.
So, no. So we were very lucky to have that time in Australia. We met so many people, we had so many opportunities, and we had such a good time as well. So it was hard work, but it was also a lot of fun. And it was.
And you were saying that Mike would link in with you.
Yeah. So if I'm bringing a spirit person through, and I'm going to give evidence of who they are, I was saying that he would pick up the same spirit person, but just give different evidence.
So that's how we work.
And that's what we've done ever since.
We did it in 4 weeks ago. We did Brisbane Church, and we did a demonstration there on Zoom. There was 67 people, I think. We just went, I'm coming to you, and blah blah blah.
And actually, that was really scary. It's very.
We haven't done it for a long time.
It's the one thing if you stand up in front of a room full of people, like physical human beings. It's quite another when you've got 68 pictures on a screen, and you think,
I was just about to say, because obviously this year would have been slightly different for you, but obviously you were still traveling, but on Zoom.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yes. Most times on Sundays, we're in Brisbane in the morning, we're in Paris in the afternoon, and then we're back in Dubai. So we are tomorrow. So
we are. We're like
and no traveling, and it doesn't cost a penny. So it's really good.
That's incredible. So not only Australia, but you go Paris and Dubai.
Yeah, well, that's post-COVID. We did France before COVID. We did a residential course in France, and that was quite interesting.
In the chateau in France.
We did it. It was awareness rather than mediumship, because in France, mediumship's a bit of a dirty word. And so we went and did this awareness course. And then somebody came up to the chateau and said, there's 3 women in the village want a reading. Are you willing to do it? And I said, well, my French isn't that good, but I'll try. So I sat in a very dark corner of a very dark bar, hidden, doing readings for these French women, because it's just not approved of there.
And I was sat outside on the terrace doing some healing, and all these people were coming up asking for a beer or whatever it was, probably looking at me thinking, what the hell's he doing? But there you go.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. It's miles from anywhere. It's a place called... it was near Cluny.
It was near Cluny. I don't remember.
I can't remember the name of the place, but anyway, it's tiny little village.
Yeah, so
So you're a bit like So you're a bit like the tandem medium then. You
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
you're on the same bike.
On the same
Yeah.
bike, traveling all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also do drawing when I get links. I get given a picture, a symbolic picture for people. So the faces change to symbols. So now if I'm doing a public demonstration, I always get a picture for the person that I'm working with. Yeah, Mike says, tell you about the green heart. So before I knew Mike, I'd gone from Australia to New Zealand to work.
I think I saw that. No, I did
Yeah.
see that one. I was there. That was a Maori one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think that was, you weren't there on that one. I don't think.
Maybe.
I think
see, we're arguing already.
Yeah. I've got this Maori woman I'm talking to, and I said, I feel I got your brother here, and I've given her some evidence, and she said, oh yeah, I think it is. So in my head, I said to this spirit person, I said, well, just give me something that will prove to this woman that you are her brother. And he said, draw a green heart. And I'm thinking, no, hearts are not green. They are red and pink. They are not green. So I'm sort of arguing with him. He said, just draw it. So I did. And she said, oh, that's definitely my brother. That's the symbol of our Maori land. Because every piece of Maori land has a family symbol. And that was their symbol. So that did it. That was job done. Absolutely.
It's always about evidence. It's always about, it's not about us. It's about bringing that through for somebody else, and they know who it is. I mean, one of your
message,
and
making sure that message comes over to that person, and yeah, it must be so rewarding for you guys to do that job and to know that you've linked in. Really, like your first ever taste of mediumship, Mike, to contact that guy's father and to bring a message through, and he didn't even know he'd passed. So something like that, it's just, it's remarkable. It's such a privilege to have that.
You psychic or what? You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say it's a privilege. It's a privilege.
Absolutely.
We give this.
Don't get into my head.
I'll get you in a class yet. Don't you worry.
I am. Yeah, the more I talk to you guys, the more I am like, okay, because you do teach it, and we don't have to go to Australia, we don't have to go to Paris or places. You do teach it in this land.
we do a lot of teaching.
But interestingly, our class in Cornwall, since COVID, we're no longer confined to Cornish students. So we have one guy who comes from Australia, who met through Brisbane. He gets up at 4 in the morning.
4 o'clock in the morning to do our 7 o'clock evening class.
So he's 4 o'clock Wednesday morning. We're 7 o'clock.
And he's been on all our courses in Dubai.
Yes, he's
amazing. He's our groupie.
He's our groupie, yes.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, and people are now coming from everywhere. COVID has really broken down all the barriers.
We got one in Dubai. We've got people in Dubai and Abu Dhabi.
And Egypt.
We got Egypt. We got Hong Kong. We got Australia. Yeah, so they're all. So COVID, in a funny sort of way, or Zoom, if you like, has been a godsend in a funny sort of way. And I don't mean that unkindly. Of course, COVID is not.
No, absolutely not. But the thing that I want to teach people and to show people through this situation is look at the positives and take them like a rugby ball and run with them. Because yes, although the situation we're going through is life changing, it can be horrendous if you have it or if you know someone who's had it. But look for those green positives. And, it's one of the things I've really connected with you guys throughout this situation. It's one of the reasons I've really liked you to come on here, because for you guys, there is such a big positive that you've took from this. And if we can all see that positive and run, we can see a better side of this rather than the doom and gloom and the negativity that the other side is trying to put into us. So you guys are a real good advocate of, look, if literally the world gave you lemons and you were so quick to turn it into lemonade. So
well, you see that COVID, as soon as it locked down, we lost all our work at Champneys in one day, the whole lot. So no work at Champneys, no monthly going out there and working at all these resorts. Just finished because they closed them all down. And even now, they're not open properly. Obviously, they're shut down again now, but they never open properly again after that, fully. But within 2 weeks, we got the phone call from Dubai. Would we work online for them?
But we gave up, you see.
Yeah.
Somebody, oh, well, I think
No.
Somebody at Champneys,
No, that's all right. You can do it.
Somebody at Champneys, it was like a groupie bloke, and he used to come to all our after dinner talks, because we did after dinner talks and things like that. Only a lot of people came to that because there was nothing else to do after dinner. But there you
no
go.
buys.
So shame we bought our own. But he came to our group to our classes and talks, and he said you have to. He came from Dubai and said you have to work in Dubai, and we went. Why would we?
No way.
No. We've been through the airport a million times, but it's glitzy, it's horrible. Why would I? This is what we thought. And he said, you have to. You guys would do really well there. They've got a ministry of happiness. We went, what? And he said, yeah, every government and every department has a ministry of happiness, and they want to talk to all these people. So, and you guys would do good. So we thought, oh, this is strange. Okay. So we came back. And we decided to look up what's going on in Dubai. So we found this company called Illuminations, which seemed to be a big welfare spa place. It seemed to be the top notch, if you like. So we wrote to them, didn't we?
Sent all our stuff,
bios and all sorts. Never heard anything. Then we did it again, and then someone said, "Oh, we phoned them up," and they said, "Oh yeah, the boss lady's looking at it, but it's not." Anyway, so we didn't bother.
Or when we booked flights out there to go and see them.
In February, we were supposed to go out there. We thought what we'd do is we'd just go out there, have a little jolly, go and see them, put faces to the names or whatever, and see how it goes. But then, of course, lockdown came, so we had to cancel it.
But then they decided to put all their work online. Yeah. She decided that in 48 hours, it's all going online. We got the phone call, will you come and work online? That was mid-April, and we've been 4 days a week ever since.
That's amazing. Just a quick question here from Kim Moody. Yep. Hi both. Are you still members of the SNU?
Okay.
He is. I'm not.
I am at the moment. I'm not necessarily going to be in the future. No reason why not, other than the fact that, to be honest, I don't know. Why should I pay a membership?
We've kind of moved on.
We sort of moved on a bit, so but no reason why not. I mean, nothing wrong.
Actually, I can answer that. Actually, I know why I came out. I needed to be more expansive than they let me be.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I don't actually teach at the college. Although I was taught to teach there, I won't teach there. It's too limiting. Yeah. So I need to be free. So the SNU is very. I've done loads of work for them, but in the end, I just felt suffocated, and I needed to be free to do it how I needed to do it.
You're absolutely right.
No offense to them at all.
And also, we had, and why I am as well for the moment is because for this year, is because we for the SNU we actually were what do they call them nowadays? Supervising officers for churches under supervision. So we would go in and look after them and sort them out,
put them back on their feet,
put them back on track again. So I needed to be SNU member for that, or one of us did, and we was doing that up until about 2 years ago. So
Plymouth Hillsborough was our last one.
So I don't know if I'll join again, but it doesn't matter. But you know, we don't practice that side. They do a fantastic job, but we don't practice their ways as such. We do our own ways, if that makes sense.
I understand that.
That's I don't know who was asked that question. But
that was Mr. Moody, a great friend of mine. So, yeah, you answered that very well.
We're not staunch, you know.
And Anna Smith, she says that teaching course sounds amazing.
Well, it's at the moment, this is the first one we've done. We were asked by Dubai to do it following our foundation mediumship and our advanced mediumship course. They said, well, what are you going to do next? And I said, I don't know. And she said, well, what about a teaching course? I said, oh, okay, we'll do a teaching course. So the first one was today. It's a 6-week course. And I suppose we could I think for people here in the UK to do it in Dubai, it's very expensive. But it isn't to say that if there was sufficient interest, we would do one. We would do one in the UK,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
We'd do any course you like. We can design. We do actually quite design a lot of courses as well.
Well,
yeah.
And for everyone who is watching, at the top of the comment section, I have put the 3 links to Sandy and Mike where you can find them and to find out more details about what these guys do, because it is great stuff. It is such an amazing work that you do. If I was to expand my spiritualness, I think your guys' door would be the one I would be knocking on, because there is an authenticity. You got to go by what fits right and what feels right. And for me, I like your energy, and I just think, yes, if I wanted to delve into mediumship, I think you would be the route I would take.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, it would be our privilege to teach you and to bring you on, and it wouldn't take much work either.
No, that's what it would.
So yeah, Mr. Moody, he's just commented back to say thank you. I did wonder if it would be restrictive.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, for us, it's not a job. It's not what we do. It's our life. We don't know anything different. I don't know. It's just I don't know.
It's just a way of
life.
It's a way of life.
It's like, I suppose it must be like being an actor or something, or whatever you are. No, maybe not. Maybe it's just whatever you do, you enjoy it so much. It doesn't feel like a chore.
No,
it doesn't feel like I've got to do the ironing tomorrow. I've got to do this. It's our life. What else do you do? What else do I do?
And I particularly like doing readings for different cultures. So I'm finding doing them in Dubai absolutely fascinating, because the culture there is so different. Obviously, they are Islamic, but there are a lot of expats. So I think the overall impression people would have of Dubai, very glossy, everybody very successful, all the designer clothes. And you'd be absolutely right. That is what it's all about. But underneath, there's so many unhappy people. There's so many people trying to be what they're not and really suffering. So that all comes out in readings, and that's why it's a privilege to do it there. And I'm sure that's why we've been put there to do it. Very different here, very different to here.
I think so. And Anna Smith, who said about teaching courses sound amazing, she agrees with me. So yes, I think she agrees with me saying how authentic you guys are. And I think if she was willing to expand her mediumship, I think your door will be knocking for her too. So, well,
everybody's welcome. We'll always organise what we need to organise to accommodate people. You know, and we are masters of our own destiny, if you like. So yes, we work for Dubai 4 days a week, but I reserve the right to block off times in those 4 days and say I'm not working from then to then because I'm doing something in the UK. So there's always space for, we can run other courses, we can do whatever's needed.
See, I'm glad I went to give you a break, because I tend to talk too much anyway, and I overtake, and I'm a bit like that. It's a nervous thing, I think.
Yeah.
But do you know what? I mean, we were saying just beforehand, because I always have a little chat with the guests before we put the banner up, and I just like seeing couples in the spiritual community, because you find so many similarities. And we were saying how, you know, my other half, we are chalk and cheese, but together we work, because what he needs, I've got, and what I need, he's got. And you two are exactly the same. So,
yeah, absolutely.
And I could see how you two work. And, you know, this whole, for me, for two people to link in with the same spirit was a bit, but then seeing how you two are, it's like, yes, you know, give it a couple of more years and you'll be finishing each other's sentences.
We do that already.
Yeah, we do that
and we
already.
know what each other's thinking. Believe me, she goes, How did you know? We could be in a car driving somewhere, you know, a way off, and all of a sudden I'll go blah blah, and she went, "I was just about to say that." It's just so, it's very, very.
Yeah, but that's psychic reading. You see,
of course,
just
but
picking
your
up from
energies
energy.
are blending.
That's the basis of psychic reading. Is
energy
just
blending.
knowing what somebody else is going to say.
And this is what we
do.
teach. It's basic. So if we can say just basically, we just done that. What it is. So, and it's just basically.
Well, if he wants us
it's
to,
a bit. If you're happy with that, it's a bit like the very basics we teach. You know how you're subconsciously psychic reading all the time. Did you know that?
No.
So I'm
didn't
going to
know.
tell you what.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So you meet somebody
do
for the
it.
first time. Okay, you meet someone for the first time. How quickly do you know whether you like them, don't like them, or you think there's something dodgy about that bloke? I can't put my finger on it, but I don't like it. Okay. Yeah, you got it. You understand?
Yeah.
It? Right.
How are you doing it?
How am I doing it?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
I don't know. I just feel,
You want me to?
for me, if that person is a little bit dodgy, then for me, there's a feeling in me that's telling me that person
Right.
is.
How did you get the feeling?
It could be something in my gut, or it could be like hairs, like someone's walked over my grave. That kind of like, ooh, shuddery.
Okay, so that's your subconscious psychic reading, and you're doing it through your energy field. Now, I know you've got an energy field, Dan. I don't have to tell you that.
And you know about chakras.
And you know perhaps that your energy field works through your chakras, which are the control centers of your energy field.
Yep.
And each chakra is connected into the nervous system. Has a big group of nerves behind it. So anything that comes in through your energy goes into your chakras, into your nervous system, up to your brain, and you get an impression.
Mm-hmm.
So when your energy blends with somebody else's you've just met, there's an exchange of information. You're picking up from them. It follows that route up to your brain, and you've got your feeling. But you're doing it subconsciously. Everybody is.
Yeah. But so then
what we teach people to do is do it consciously.
Do people do it differently regarding? Because if there's somebody and I like that person, then I tell myself I like that person. I hear it in my head that I like this person.
Yeah, it's gone up to your brain.
Yeah, but it's because that energetic input from their energy has fed through your nervous system into your brain and created a thought.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that is subconscious. You're not seeking to do that. When I read somebody psychically, and I'm going to talk pre-COVID because post-COVID's a bit different, but pre-COVID, I would sit with somebody in a reading and I would blend my energy field with theirs, and I'd start to feel different. And that difference would be them. Because in everybody's energy fields, everything about their past, their present, their future potential, their life purpose, it's all in the energy. And it's all there to be read. But I do it consciously. I actually look for the information. And that's psychic reading.
Wow.
We don't do it in Tesco's queue, by the way, because that's not right, you know.
No. I don't even go into a supermarket.
No, exactly.
I can't deal with the energies of a supermarket.
No, that's because you're sensitive.
Absolutely, you're sensitive. In theory,
Yeah.
everyone can read everyone. In theory, we could read you. We're not going to. I'm sorry, I wouldn't do that.
Well, you never read psychically in public.
But you wouldn't do that anyway in public. But you could loads. You can gather loads of information from people.
And that's the psychic reading. And that's before we even get to reading spirit people. But that follows the same route, because when a spirit energy comes into mine, it makes me feel different. It blends with my energy. It follows that route through the chakras and the nervous system, and I get different impressions from the spirit person, as does Mike.
So how many senses have you got, Dan?
I've got 5 senses.
Have you?
Oh, you poor thing. Most people have got 12.
Most people have got 12.
We have 12.
We have 12 senses?
Yeah, we have 5.
Wait, we have 12.
There are 5.
Let him wait.
Yeah.
5. So then you've got your sixth sense, your intuition.
Gut instinct.
And then at a higher vibrational level, you have 6 more senses, which are your clair senses. So this is where clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, meaning clear. It bridges the gap between the higher vibrational level of the spirit people and us. And everybody has all of them.
So clairvoyance is one of the ones that most people use, aren't they?
No, not necessarily.
Well, no, but everyone knows about clairvoyance, doesn't
yeah.
they?
Yes, that's a word that's familiar.
They might not be clairvoyant. They might not see clearly.
They might hear.
Clairaudient, or whatever.
They might feel clairsentience.
And then there's two types of clairvoyance.
They might smell something. It's clairolfactience. They might taste something, clairgustience. Or they might just know something. Intuition, clairknowing.
There's two types of clairvoyance. There's objectively and subjectively.
Okay? Wow.
So objectively is how I see people. I see spirit in the room like I'm looking at you, or at funerals or on airplanes. And Sandy sees them subjectively in her mind, in her head.
Okay. Oh. And that's
the same question here from Shadi.
I'll interrupt a minute. You've got a question.
Tell me about the vibration and stuff about me.
How would they be able to do that? All right, this is Shadi. So Shadi, I'm working a lot like this on Zoom. All my stuff in Dubai is done on Zoom. I read the vibration of a voice because the vibration of the voice is the same as the vibration of the energy field. So I pick up the vibration of the voice and it's like a key into the energy field. So this would be the same as you say, I've had people on the phone tell me about my vibration. They're picking it up off your voice. So it's very normal. Very normal. So sorry, I just spotted that one. That's quite an interesting question to answer.
Yes. Keep your questions coming, guys. Anything at all about what these amazing people do, ask away, because it is amazing. And so, because that is really quite interesting, because I thought we were either one of the clair senses. We are all of those. And do we just fine tune which one we like, or
no? You will naturally do. I naturally do clairsentience and clairknowing most easily. I've got all the others, but it is the spirit people who choose what to use. So,
those who are coming down, be like,
yeah, they have to bridge that gap. They are giving us the information so that we can prove who they are. So the information comes in through whichever of our senses they feel most comfortable using.
And we'll get some shy person who's been shy in life and who finds it really difficult to step forward, and he might have to use one of your senses because I'm a bit like this or whatever.
Yeah.
However you've been in life, that's, it's the same.
I've never ever thought of them finding different routes. I suppose it's like us when we plan our journey, how do we get to that destination?
Absolutely.
I've never thought that some might find it easier that way, or what. I just thought if you are that's the way they come through to you.
Well, we do an exercise. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, we need to bring in here the backstage crew, because
shame we haven't got a PowerPoint. We could show you all
these slides.
We
could show you all the slides, but never mind, we haven't.
Mind. Okay.
So behind every medium that works, there is a backstage crew. It's like behind every opera singer that sings a solo, there's a backstage crew. So behind me, I have my doorkeeper, who is there. He's crowd control.
He's the boss man.
He's the boss. So
he's the bouncer.
I only want one at a time, so he keeps the rest in the waiting room till I'm ready for the next one. Some people don't mind having lots. I do. I want one at a time.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah, and then there's the spirit person who's blending with my energy. That spirit person's come with their own guide who shows them the ropes. Their guide will have talked to my doorkeeper, who will have said, well, she prefers to use sentience and knowing, but don't worry, she's got the rest. But those are her preferred ones. So it's all kind of set up. So we don't have to worry about it. And that's how spirit people know when their loved ones are going to be with a medium. They are brought to that place by a guide.
We are just, it's our second gathering on Monday. I'll use the word circle loosely because, like yourselves, I don't like to be restricted to something and comply by what that should be. But once a month on the third Monday of the month, we get together on Zoom to explore spirituality and to explore all the different modems and things out there. And our first one last month, we looked at spiritual protection and what we thought and what we value. We take on each other's views and opinions and treat everyone with respect. And then this Monday coming, we're talking about spirit guides, because at the last one, someone mentioned doorkeeper. So we are going to delve into that a little bit more on Monday evening on Zoom. So
yeah,
Send us a
okay.
link.
What you need to, what everybody needs to do, everybody who works with spirit mediumistically, you need to make a contract with them. Now, I was taught to do this at the college. So with my doorkeeper, I have a contract with the spirit world. So I have rules about how I work and my protection. And incidentally, there are more evil people on this planet than there are in the spirit world. So don't worry too much about the bad ones. We've got worse going on this planet.
There's law and order over there.
There is law and order over there. So you make your own arrangement. So I'd only want one person at a time. Mike and I like to know who we're going to in an audience. We don't want to muck about and say, can anybody take this?
Oh, I don't like, I can't.
Oh, there'll be a million hands go up. Won't
Yeah.
there?
Night sorting it out.
God.
Well, it's like the game Guess Who, isn't it? You start off with 24 people and you say, he's got a moustache. All of a sudden, hands go down. And
That's the one. Yeah. It's much better to say I'm coming to you. So these are the kind of rules that I have in place and Mike has in place through the doorkeepers. It's our contracts. So if that's any help to you in your group, you're in charge. You are not victims. You are doing a job for the spirit world. You are in charge. You sort out what you want.
Absolutely. And one of the things we do with our students, we say to them, imagine you've gone to sleep tonight and you don't wake up here, you wake up in the spirit world. Okay? You imagine that. It's like you wake up in the spirit world and you look down and there's your loved ones crying their eyes out at the funeral and all that. Right? So, and you know, the guys brought you in, that one of your loved ones is going to be in an audience, right, with a medium on the platform. And you got a chance of getting through to that medium. How are you going to do it? What are you going to say that will make your loved one know who you are first? How are you going to get it through to that medium without somebody to help you, like a guide? If you was a shy person, especially in life here, you'd still be a shy person there. How are you going to do it? It's difficult, isn't it?
yes.
What senses are you going to use?
And you see,
How are you gonna work it?
our students often say, oh, this is so hard. It's so difficult. I can't do this. And I say, hang on a minute. What do you think it's like for them?
Yeah.
They got the same problems. It's the other way around.
And that's why we're this bridge, aren't we?
That's why we have the bridge.
So we're here. They're there. We come up there. They come down a bit. We have the bridge.
Meet in the middle.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's why they call them mediums. Because they're not large, they're not small, they're medium.
I'll need to go down to the gym before I can become a medium, I tell you. The COVID spread is spreading.
Oh, the COVID spread.
Too many cakes, yeah. Well, unfortunately, we bought some Stollen this week. So we've started on that. It's supposed to have been for Christmas, but I'm sure we get more for Christmas.
I'm afraid
we bought
last night.
We bought 2 tubs of sweets the other week because they were on sale, and they're for Christmas. Now where they at? We had them over the duration of week.
Oh dear.
Oh, but Stollen, I love Stollen.
And only mini ones, so they're right.
Oh,
afternoon tea.
Tiny ones, tiny. Right. So how many in your circle?
I think there's 14 of us.
Wow.
Oh, good.
Okay.
So there's 14. Pardon?
Do you lead it, or have you got somebody?
I was the guide of the last that one because it was the first one, so I was the guide for that. But I don't want it to be all about me because I do a lot already on Facebook and. You know, and I think, God, people must be sick of my voice. So it's to encourage people to have a view and, you know, talk amongst it. So it was a lady on the last one. She mentioned spirit guides, and she would like the next one. She said, how about the next one be about spirit guides? And I says, okay, how would you feel about being the guide for that? And, you know, just making sure people stick to the conversation, making sure people are being treated fairly and everyone has a say. So she's the lady. She's going to do a meditation to meet spirit guides and hold a discussion for that.
Good.
So at the moment, we're just going through the discussions because obviously the group might get smaller, the group might get bigger, but I just want us to feel that connection before we start dabbling.
Dabbling.
Wow.
if we can say dabble, but before we start focusing and utilizing the group's energy. So yeah.
Well done.
No Ouija boards.
No Ouija boards, definitely. No.
Oh, I don't know. I like to call them talking boards because, you know.
Well,
that's another subject altogether. Just stick with the energy. Just stick with working with energy.
Oh, we've got a mutual friend on who loves Stalin, the lovely Kate.
Okay.
The lovely Kate Ashton. I think she did some work with you.
Yes, she did.
Kate,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Kate and I go back a long way.
Yes, because bless you both, because Rachel Shannon you put our way.
She came down here and did 2 days intensive with us.
Yeah, and she come over to us to do the shark workshops. And same as Kate came to you, and then on your recommendation, she came to me. So, you know, what goes round comes round. We all help each other.
Absolutely. We're all here to help each other. That's absolutely right.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. And what's this? Anne Smith just wondering how to make a contract.
Well, a gatekeeper. It's overwhelming. So it's no one down next week as my link. Spirit because it gives me a sense of unease. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
you do it. You take this one.
Making a contract. How we do it. It's only us. How we do it. I can only explain how we do it. You need to sit and be for a little bit of time. What you need to do is like any contract. So you have a contract with your employer or whatever else, and you sign this contract, you read the small print, and there's a big form, if you like, that says, well, you do this and you do that, and we will do this and we will do that. So it's a little bit like that, but in a more subtle way. So what you do is you say, okay, in your mind, I wouldn't do it in Tesco's if I was you because you get arrested. But in your mind, you say to the spirit world, look, I need to make a contract here. I'm not happy with the way we're working. I know you're there. I trust you, blah, 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 but I need to make a contract. So you say, for example, I don't know, I'm going to sit at 2:00 on Monday. And you sit, the spirit, on 2:00 on Monday. So you just relax, sit in a chair, whatever, and just let yourself drift off a little bit. And you have a little word with the spirit world. If you're going to be late, by the way, inform them. I know they should know because they're psychic, but it's not polite if you're going to be late. Okay? So you inform. So you sit with spirit and you, in your mind, what you should do is you should also write down a few things that you want. So I want to work with spirit, but I want one at a time. I would like to know where I'm going. I would like you to give me clear evidence that I can give to somebody else. I would like this. I would like that.
Well, she could do the one that I do, which is the positions in the energy field.
Yes.
So when spirit come into me, part of my contract is that on the right-hand side, I have fathers, grandfathers, uncles who were like fathers, that category. Down the middle, I have mothers, grandmothers, aunts who were like mothers, that category. And on the left-hand side, I have husbands, wives, mistresses, and lovers. So just in case you're wondering why I added those last two, I was working at the church in Exeter some years ago, and I went to a man at the back and I said, I'm coming to you, and I believe I have your wife with me. And I was going to start giving some evidence. And he said, well, you may have, he said, but you might have my mistress. They're both in spirit. So I gave the evidence, and it was his mistress. Ever since then, I've added those two in because I have to cover all eventualities. But
And that would only happen in Exeter, wouldn't it?
Yeah, of course it would.
But it does help me. So if I got a spirit in on this side, on my right-hand shoulder side, I'm just going to say, well, I've got a gentleman here, and he's going to be father, grandfather, whatever I've set up. It gives you a start point. It gives you a control.
That's right.
And it helps them as well.
So this is where your contract is. So you say to the spirit world, this is what I want. Don't forget to give them something as well. So for example, this is what I want from you. What I will give you in return is I will be, well, in our cases, open all hours. But that doesn't mean to say you can come in at 4 o'clock in the morning without a good reason, or in the shower or whatever, but I will be your voice, and I will put this out to as many people in the world as possible. And I would educate people, and I would do this and I will do that for you. So there's this contract, this 50-50 contract. And if, by the way, Spirit will break that contract in any way, shape or form, you have another meeting with him and you say, this isn't right. You've got two choices here. One, change my doorkeeper because he's obviously not doing a good job. Or two, you carry on like this. I will not do this for you. I will not be your voice. Believe me, they'll change. There's too few voices down here that they can come through. There's too few mediums and too many spirits. They're not gonna blow it. Really not. So
and there is nothing to be afraid of. No. So if it feels out of control, it's just because you haven't got anybody in your backstage crew who's moderating the flow. That's what you need. You need somebody to manage. Well, Mike calls them the bouncer. The doorkeeper is the bouncer. It keeps them back until you've sorted one out, then you can sort another out. You don't want 4 or 5 people plus a couple of dogs and a cat coming through all at the same time. It's too confusing.
How many times you hear it? Oh, I've got your grandmother here, blah, blah, and she says this. And, oh, Uncle George has just popped in. Oh, Fred down the road's popped in. Oh, and there's a dog gone in. And you're thinking, what? Where am I going with this? It's ridiculous. So anyway, that's how.
Yeah, no, I agree. It should be kind of like, right, let that person through, hold the rest back, and because that's where it's got to drain on a medium. If you're just doing one reading, and within that one reading you've got 5 members of their family come through to say hello, that's got to take some of your energy, and then you've got another 45 minutes to do other readings, and it's like, if you do that for all the other readings, you are going to just be whoa.
But there's another factor there, actually. You need to prove the identity of each one in order to make it meaningful. So it's no me saying to you, I got your grandma here and she says whatever she says. And by the way, she's got a dog and she's giving you a bouquet of flowers. You still don't know it's your grandma because I haven't given you any evidence it is.
You haven't said, yes, I know it is. Which, if you say, we always say, if you say, oh, I think I know it is, for us, it's no good.
No,
you have to say, I know who that is before we give a message.
I'm going to do my famous one here.
Oh, yeah.
This is my moment of triumph in my whole career. I'm doing a reading for a lady when I lived in Devon, and I had her father with me, and she's saying, oh, yeah, I think it's my dad. I really think it is my dad. So I said to her dad in my mind, now just give me something that's going to absolutely sort this out. Let's get rid of any doubts. So I heard the music of Nights in White Satin in my head. And I'm thinking, nah, that's not what I meant. This is ridiculous. However, I am trained to give what I get. So I just said to her, this is what I've got. She absolutely dissolved into tears because her father wrote and produced that song. So that's my moment of triumph.
That's the best ever. It's like you do it.
Oh my word!
No, so that was
we get some bizarre things.
That's the kind of thing they'll do for you. If
how brilliant is that?
You have to keep asking for what you want.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
I just got back to say thank you so much to you both for sharing how to do the contract. No, I'm going to take on board everything you have said. I really appreciate your help and advice.
Thanks, Anna.
It's all right. Well, keep in touch. You've got the websites. You can get in touch through the websites.
Yeah, I've just put them all back up again now to save people trawling through all the hellos and all the other things. So
Rainbow's End in Roseland is the
Yeah,
one to get
.com,
us through,
yeah.
or find our Facebook page. We're very good at responding.
But it doesn't matter how you work with spirit. They will always, if you do it with the good intent, it's always the best intent and the trust. They will always come through triumph. And it doesn't matter whether you're working in a healing capacity, a reading capacity, a workshop, whatever, teaching, whatever. They will always come through.
Well, they always back
They
us
do.
up. They always
Even with my
support
healings,
us.
I've had so much stuff that's come through, and I'm thinking, I can't say that to this person, but I do.
And it's right.
I remember saying to one woman at Champneys once, I was doing a healing for her, and I always get to know where the healing energy is going. And this was totally bizarre this day. It was off the wall, and I'm thinking, I can't say that to this woman. All I saw was this woman holding the ward like that and stood up straight. And I said, I've got to say this. I don't know where it's come from, and that's where it's come from. And she just laughed. And I said, what? And she said, I've just come to Champneys from Buckingham Palace where I got the OBE. And you think, where's that come from? It's spirit, obviously. But
Well, it was in her energy as well.
Well, it was in her
You probably
energy,
picked
but
it
it
up
comes, but
psychically.
it's there, and you must trust. Trust
Yeah.
yourself and trust them. It's wonderful. And when you do, you'll never look back, will you?
No, when you get it going, it's like dancing with them. It's wonderful. Absolutely
It is
wonderful.
like dancing with them, actually.
Yeah, it is. That's how I think about it.
That's beautiful. Dancing, yes. I
Yeah.
like that.
When they really connect and you really let them in, and you just start doing what they want you to do, that's what it feels like.
Be like doing a nice waltz with them. It
Yeah,
flows.
it
It
is.
flows.
Or I don't know if I want to do the waltz, so I perhaps want to do the paso doble, or
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
All
well,
Yeah.
whatever, whatever floats
I'll
your
teach
boat.
You can have your ballroom.
I'll teach you.
I want to have a bit of, I want to have a bit of.
Oh, yeah, you want the tango, probably.
Oh, absolutely. That's my kind of ballroom. A little bit of pizzazz.
A little bit strictly.
You don't watch it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Okay, this is good.
looking into the future, where can these people who are tuning in, where can they see you? Where can they experience your loving wisdom and the way you work?
Right, on Facebook,
no, not Dubai.
No, but on
It's too
Facebook.
expensive.
No, but they can see us on Facebook because we do recordings. Probably.
It's probably best to contact us through Rainbow's End in Roseland if they want a reading or a healing on Zoom, which is what we do in this country, or anybody who wants to join a class. I mean, we're quite happy to start another class. We've got one running, but we can do different levels. I mean, basically, we can do most things that people want. But with you can't come and see us because only on Zoom at the moment, because we're not going anywhere. We sit in Cornwall, just stay in our cottage. We just travel the world from our cottage.
Very nice.
But we're happy to do classes, one-to-one mentoring. I do quite a lot of that. Readings, healings, webinars, workshops, just anything that people want. We are a bit busy with Dubai, but as I said earlier, we will block out time for the UK. If somebody wants something, then we'll just say to Dubai, we can't do it on that day because we're doing this for somebody in the UK.
We also do, we do life coaching as well, because we do.
I forgot that.
Yeah, we do. We help. We've just done another webinar for somebody in Dubai, which was the children, the youngsters nowadays on with the lockdown and things with COVID, they are very stressed.
COVID crisis.
So we taught them and their mums and dads how to cope with the situation. And
That's amazing.
With ADHD children and
autistic
and all that. So we help them to progress and get to where they need to be in their lives. So.
And we also teach the parents how to handle them, because a lot of the problem is there's nothing wrong with people who are autistic or ADHD. They're just hypersensitive.
It's labelled.
But the problem is teachers and parents are not trained how to deal with that state of person, whereas we work with them all the time. So we do a lot of work with those sort of kids and have a fair amount of success, actually.
So where you need us.
That's brilliant. That is amazing. I'm just going to give a last shout out to any questions at all anyone has. Please do ask. Is there anything else we need to cover?
I don't
The
know.
events.
Well, the events. I was just going
We're
to
not-
say
Well, the
how-
events,
Where we met.
yeah.
where we met you.
The big one. Where did we first meet you? Well, I
We're
think
trying
which
to
it must
talk
have been. It's before
Was it
Totnes.
Totnes?
No, it's before. It must have been before Totnes, was
Was Totnes the first show you did with us?
it?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
it?
I thought it was.
That's about
Yeah.
7.
We've done
8 times,
4
8
years.
times, 4 years, yeah,
For
probably,
5
yeah.
years ago now.
5
We
years
missed
ago,
a
yeah.
year.
Yeah. Oh God, you look the same.
Yes.
How annoying!
Well, I-
So do you two. So do you two. It only feels like yesterday.
your crystal displays at our shows
Yeah,
are a
I
highlight.
mean,
They're
they're
just
superb.
so classy.
I mean, you know,
So good.
and we always talk to anyone that needs any sort of crystals or anything. You have to go to
Back them
Dan Rox
off in
'cause
your
it's like,
direction.
Oh, and like I said, I mean, I always give thanks to that because people come to me and say where it comes from. And for me, it's really important that people say that when someone recommends someone, that person should say that that person recommended them. It was like with Rachel and with Kate. They both said, oh, I did something with Sandy and Mike, and they said to come to you. And it's really nice then for me to say to you guys, thank you, because you recommended them to me, because people need to do that. So I'm just reading some of the comments here. So yeah, I like it when people do that, and I shouldn't be sitting here when you talk about the displays. My husband should be sitting here because he's the one that does he's the one who does that. I pop them in the order, and then he goes along and makes them stand up, makes them.
Just amazing.
yeah, but you work with the children as well, and you do the exhibition things and the teaching.
Your workshops.
Your workshops, so as well. So you're both good in your own right. A bit like us, I suppose. You know, so it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you ever come to Seaton in Devon? Yes, just a bit. We lived in Branscombe.
Yeah. Janet on YouTube.
Seaton,
I did several workshops, several Mind Body Spirit shows there, and I also worked in a spiritual shop, the name of which I can't remember, in the High Street.
Yeah,
I used to do a day a week helping out there, so probably that's where you'd have met me. Is this Shardy again? Okay. Thank you. Oh, good.
Cool.
I liked it. Oh, look at all.
Yes, no more questions. Really in touch, thinking the universe and shows that Dan was live. Truly believe we are always here. Thank you all three.
Thank you, Anna.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, thank you, Anna. We'll look forward to hearing from you. As Kim again. Thanks. Interesting evening. Well, I've had an interesting evening really as well. Thank you for inviting us.
Oh,
it's just been really nice. And just fingers crossed for next year. That definitely September show.
Definitely September. I should do. I mean,
we've got the hall booked and paid for in May, but who knows? It depends.
Yeah. And this is their well-being show that they put on in Totnes, in the Civic Hall.
Civic Hall,
yeah. Civic Hall.
So it's a holistic well-being and natural crafts festival. Probably about 45 exhibitors, all different types, all very classy. That's why Dan Rox are there.
Well, I said they've even got their own room.
We've even got our own room.
I mean, you know, mind you, the room is next to the toilets, but we won't mention that. You know. Oh, sorry, I did. No, not really.
Sometimes we allow another stall holder to share our space.
Yes, you do, and that's always a success.
Yeah.
It is. And then we do have that lovely canvas, the Crystal Room, which really makes our hearts swell and just,
It cost me £700, that thing.
Rubbish.
No, I'm only joking.
It's all safely stored, ready for the next
Whatever it was worth every penny, believe me.
Yeah.
Oh, Kaz, thank you so much. Thank you, Dan, Sandy, and Mike. Very interesting talk from Kaz Stapleton.
Okay.
So guys, it has been a really great evening.
Oh, that's good. I don't want to go now.
You know what? So many people.
What we're going to do next? You know,
so many people when they've done this, they're like, "When can I do a next one? When's the next thing? When's the next?" Because the thought of it daunts you, and you think, oh my God, no. But when you come away from it, you're like, right, when? And I do see other people, they've gone on to do Facebook Lives and things like that, because it's given them that little platform and encouragement of, oh, I could just do it myself. I don't, and they just go off and do that. So it is really great. I mean, I can remember at the Healing Weekend when we did the Zoom workshops, because obviously that was cancelled, and I went over to Devon Birds of Prey Centre with Karen, the owner of the centre, because we were doing a mixture between the raptor energy and the crystal energy, and she was so nervous. I was a little bit nervous because I didn't know how this would work, working with, because we do a full day workshop, but we're having to try and cut that into 45 minutes. And it's like, okay, but it did. And at the end, she was just like you two. She said, can we do it again? When can we do it? When? So
yeah, but that's your skill at putting people at their ease.
Oh,
no, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, it's like sitting in your armchair, like, you know.
Yeah.
You could, forget it. Forget all these, like, you know, these shows like that. You know, you can just sit there. You can call it something like Armchair Lounge, or when you can just sit there and like have these people on and go, do you know what I mean? Hey, come in, cool person. Do whatever you want to do. You'd have to get rid of moustache though, because I think, you know.
No, he won't. It's very distinguished. That's all right.
Oh, distinguished. That means it's got to go.
Oh, all right. Wrong word.
Well, it's funny because this little grey goatee here, because it's grey now because I'm getting old. Sandy's never ever seen me without any of this. So when I met Sandy, I had this, and it was only because I don't know why I think it was. I was a sad person at one time in my life, and I watched EastEnders, you see. So I was very sad. And I think he was called David Essex was on it. And he was doing something, and he had this goatee beard, and he'd go, yeah, right, with his beard like that. So I thought, oh, that looks really cool. I'll grow one of them. And that's how it started. So she's never seen me without it. So I can't shave it off. I can't ever shave it off.
No, I should say one more thing before we go. If you need any help with your little group,
yes,
if you want us to come and do a little talk for you, no problem.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that would be.
The keyboard.
We don't want to take over.
We could do the keyboard of mediumship.
We can do a presentation because we do this on Zoom. We got
because that's
loads and loads of presentations, so we could do something.
Yeah, because this is done through Zoom. Because obviously you can't do anything like that out live because you don't know who's coming in.
Well, that's
no,
right.
we work mostly on Zoom, so we could do that for you if you want.
Well, for you guys out there who
before we will go, do you want to see something really cool?
What's that?
Oh, you're going to capture it's the cat.
She's just about 8 months old.
It's the fur baby.
Oh, our cats have been really good. How adorable.
Who's that?
She was rescued at 3 days old by Cat Protection. Abandoned, feral abandoned, but now spoilt rotten.
But we work for Cats Protection. We're socializers for Cats Protection. So we got
So
anyway, sorry.
Kim Moody, he's part of the Monday Night Circle. He said, yes, please.
Yes, all right, cool.
Jardy, that would be amazing. So I think that's the popularity of the vote. So yeah.
Well, you let us know when do you do it? So you say Monday night?
It's a Monday night, but it's the third Monday of every month. I only do it once a month.
We don't work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We have Dubai free, so that's
so that's fine. Unless we're away, but we can do
that.
Really,
so Monday evening. I mean, I know the next one, which we do in December, that's the 21st of December. That's the solstice. So I was thinking, how can we make that a little bit special? Obviously, I'll put it through to everybody on Monday night. What do we want to do there? But if you don't do anything for the solstice and you're free for that Monday evening, we can drink. It depends what. For me, I like it when something's mentioned in the previous discussion and we take that further in the next discussion. So see where it comes about. But obviously talking about spirit guides, doorkeepers this month, it might
again, very
it
nice.
might line up really well for you guys to come in December. But I'll put that to the rest of the team, see what they say.
Yeah, don't worry. It's fine. We're happy.
Yeah, just let us know. It's fine.
You're happy mediums.
We're happy mediums.
Excellent.
Yes, we are. Oh, it's been really nice.
Yeah, it's
really
been
great
really.
evening.
Thank you very much, and thank you to your listeners and to the people
and to his husband,
and your husband,
the technical team in the background,
and to the people that shared their comments, which was nice comments. So,
absolutely, guys, I'm going to drop you down, and then just feel free to.
Hurt.
You're going to be painful. It'd be like zapping me, beam me up, Scotty, or something.
Yeah, I'll drop you down, and then you just feel free to disconnect and walk away and watch your Strictly, whatever it is. And I'll just wrap up the evening.
Bye.
But thank you so much.
That's all right. It's our pleasure.
You're an absolute diamonds. Oh, that was amazing, guys. Yes. So just a few bits of things to catch up with. Tomorrow night, we have the new moon communal altar. The new moon goes to the new at 5 o'clock, around 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. So tomorrow night, evening at 5 p.m., we're going to come together to do the new moon communal altar. Again, this will be on the actual day. So we're going to bring in the ceremony, bring in the elements. So that's happening. Monday, I won't be on Facebook because we'll be on Zoom doing what the tribe does best. Tuesday evening, our special guest is the lovely Shamanic Willow. Obviously, she's going to be coming on to talk a little bit more about shamanism, the tools, the energy, and she's also going to talk about trees. And she's asked if we would like to do a meditation to meet our tree ally, which I absolutely said, yes, please. So that will be Tuesday at 7 o'clock, where we will meet Shamanic Willow and talk about all of her work and what she does. And then Wednesday is our another sale market of up to 50%. So things are still going on. Things are going through, but you guys have been amazing. Thank you all so much. And yeah, please join us tomorrow live at 5 p.m. I've moved it a bit early because tomorrow night we do have His Dark Materials on, which I'm a huge fan of. So we're pushing the new moon a little bit early so we can sit and down and watch that. So yeah, hopefully see you then, or if not, throughout the week. Have a good night. Watch Strictly and enjoy. Thank you very much.